After 3 long years of early access, Age of Darkness Final Stand finally achieved a full release. It's an RTS that promises a brutal, atmospheric experience where players defend humanity's last bastion against relentless hordes of shadowy creatures. One of the main selling points of Age of Darkness Final Stand is the ability to render up to 70,000 enemies on screen. Yeah, you got this right. Plus, a unique dynamic day-night and cycle, and a blend of tower defense and RTS mechanics. It aims to carve a niche in a genre craving innovation. But how does it compare to other RTS titles? Is it worth it or not? Let's dive in. Set in a grim dark world shrouded by a malevolent force known as the Veil, Age of Darkness Final Stands cast players as the commanders of a fragile settlement fighting for survival. The darkness is an enigmatic enemy. Some lore suggests it's a manifestation of human fear, others a mass of damned soul. The origin is kinda vague, leaving some room for imagination, which I kinda like. Your goal: to survive in this game, you will need to build defenses and fend off waves of enemies that emerge from the fog during specific nights. The game offers 3 modes: survival, campaign, and co-op multiplayer. Each will deliver a somewhat different experience. This title clearly takes inspiration from They Are Billions, the zombie steampunk killing game. If you don't know what that is, it's also a very good title. And classic RTS giants like Warcraft 3 and StarCraft. However, I will not go as far as to say that the Age of Darkness is as good as either of them. The game blends building, resource management, and combat with a survival twist. The defining feature is the Death Knights, periodic onslaught where thousands of enemies will swarm your keep, forcing meticulous preparation and adaptation. Pretty much you will set up during the day, and a countdown will start until you get invaded. It's a game that revels in its difficulty, pushing player to find a balance between expansion and defense. At the core of Age of Darkness, you have the classical RTS pillars: unit production, resource gathering, and building. Technology research: you will gather wood, stone, iron, and produce food, construct buildings, train units, and research upgrades. The resource system is quite simple. You will place a lumber next to trees in a position that will produce the most amount of wood, ideally. This causes you to take certain decisions, like for example, when you place a farm, you don't want to build anything next to a farm because it will reduce the amount of food that is produced. And resources will trickle in automatically over time. However, there is a system in place where storage is quite limited. So if you just go around and don't pay attention to the resources that are capped, you will receive no more resources. The entire game is based around the day and night cycle. By day, you expand your settlement, scout the fog, and harvest resources. You can place light sources to push back against the Veil, preventing enemy spawns and revealing the procedurally generated map. At night, the nightmares awaken, growing stronger and more aggressive. Every few cycles, a Death Knight will trigger, unleashing a massive wave intent on destroying your base. If it gets destroyed, well, you lose. Your survival hinges on layered defenses, and you will have the classical tools. You can build walls, towers, ballistas, and you will have a powerful hero fighting for you. Heroes are a standout feature, offering 6 unique characters across 3 factions. The Order, which is the defensive faction, they receive bonuses for siege weapons. Their units will have more health. The Rebellion, which are more aggressive and mobile, their units will generally deal more damage. The Volatilist, which are far more aggressive. Each hero bring the instinct, abilities, and playstyle through their skill progression is quite linear. Do not expect a lot of customization here. Heroes give flavor. They're quite useful, especially early on when you need to push exploration. This is a bit disappointing, however, because we don't have branching trees or any type of customization when it comes to heroes. There is some unit variety among the faction, but it's not a lot. You have the Lightbringers for the Orders, which are like the healers, the Rogue for the Rebellions, which can go in stealth and deal 200%, I think, bonus damage on the first hit. Cultist for the Volatilists, which are very fast and they deal a lot of damage. Full unit roster is very barren. Like, there is not a lot. The game engines runs pretty well, and you can really marvel at the swarm of creatures trying to destroy your defenses. The game also includes roguelike elements. Every time you survive a Death Knight, you can choose between one of three buffs. This gives like an additional layer of RNG and it's kind of good in my opinion. Elite Nightmares roaming the map offer high stakes challenges for Dark Essence rewards. Your units can be affected by status effect, which will require some micromanagement. You also have creatures that will explode, and you will need to move your units out of those AoE, or they will be killed. Age of Darkness comes with three primary modes of gameplay, as I said earlier. You have survival, which is probably the main reason why you want to play this game in the first place. You pick a hero, a faction, and a difficulty. You can also add additional handicaps to boost your overall score. It's here that the game shines, delivering tense, addictive loops of preparation and defense. Then you have the campaign, which is the standard bread and butter of any self-respecting RTS. It's meant to teach you how the game works and not overburden you with dozens of units and mechanics in the same place. These narrative-driven missions deliver lore and introduce you to the hero characters and the factions. So what spoilers, I'm not gonna talk about it now. Co-op mode, well, it is multiplayer, but pretty much you can only play with just one friend. It's not perfect apparently, I didn't try it, but I heard some people complaining about these things. I really can't give you an opinion here, to be honest. Visually, Age of Darkness nails the dark fantasy theme pretty well. Dynamic lighting contrasts torch-lit settlement against the oppressive fog, while nightmare design, brutes and mobs evoke a sense of dread. Do not expect anything revolutionary, but I still think they did a very good job at it. The art direction pops despite a muted palette. The map variety, however, is really not that great. Performance is solid, with dynamic resolution scaling aiding lower-end PC, like mine. The soundtrack is quite immersive as well. You have ominous orchestral tracks as well during Death Knights, punctuated by the guttural rolls of nightmares and the clang of steel. Sound effects are also well done, with like the arrows that hitting the enemy feels that they have some weight. However, I would say that I would have appreciated if the heroes had more voice lines, because they can become a bit repetitive pretty fast. But it's a minor thing, in my opinion. The interplay of day and night cycles, Death Knights, and resource management create a relentless challenge that rewards planning and adaptation. You do not sit in your base, you have to explore and be very aggressive early on, until you start to notice, okay, those pack of enemies are too many, or this is risky, I could use units and get a setback. Every decision, like building a wall or train a unit, has an opportunity cost. If I do that, I lock myself in the decision, which is the classical consequences of most RTS. The sheer scale of enemy waves is unmatched, turning battles into visceral cinematic showdown. And custom difficulty sliders and streamlined mechanics are quite welcoming for newcomers, and if you hate yourself, yeah, you have the option to do that as well. Unity variety is not a strong point in this game either, as the faction all feel kinda the same, with some difference in stats and 2 or 3 units that are different. The game can also feel a bit repetitive to some people, because the loop becomes quite predictable after you played a few maps. This is why you want to push the difficulty higher to not get bored. To be fair, I don't feel too comfortable to compare Age of Darkness to other RTS titles, because it tries to do its own thing. If I compare it to the Arbirion, Age of Darkness gives much more hero focus and exploration. It's not as refined to something like Age of Empire 4. However, the gameplay is just too different. It is similar to Warcraft 3, but without the Unity diversity, the iconic heroes, and the amazing story. But the marvel of the Horde face-off in survival mode is there. This section is spoiler-free, so do not worry. The campaign story is all about humanity's last gasp, set against a cursed fog called the Veil that swallowed the land whole. This isn't just weather, it's a living nightmare, birthing grotesque nightmares that spread anything in their path. Once upon a time, the nightmares were held at bay by an ancient race of people that created crystals made of their blood to seal the darkness away. They helped civilize humans, however, one day a human king decided to take that power for himself, and he got bitch slapped into the Veil. Centuries passed and humans do what humans do best and genocided the ancient race. And now the world is falling apart. The campaign is divided in 3 acts and contains 10 missions. It's a tale of betrayal, corruption, rebellion, but more importantly, survival. The question, is it good? This is debatable. As usual, you may guess that the faction in the story At least the rebellion, the orders are too busy dealing with internal struggles, as the kingdom is set aflame by the Iron Talon, a powerful bandit force which will be the initial enemy in the early campaign. The protagonist, Edwin, is your typical hero with a dark past, grim, just like the world around him, but is not heartless, and is motivated by a focus against the nightmare by destroying them. Missions will alternate showing off other heroes, all connected by an underlying interpersonal drama tied to the storyline, and they all have different goals and motivations. Age of Darkness underlines well the fact that there are no good people among the heroes, or at least it tries to do so. However, most of the campaigns feels like a struggle against the faction and the nightmares with a sudden reveal before the end. It's not bad, however I found characters like Aurelia a bit unsufferable. The story, however, feels incomplete and it ends on a cliffhanger promising more threats. It's kinda hard to judge this campaign. I would not call it the most memorable one of an RTS. I wish it was slightly longer and delved a little more deeply on the desperation against the nightmare, to be fair, since this is the Age of Darkness Final Stand game. But we shall see how it progresses in the future. Is Age of Darkness Final Stand worth it? I tend to judge things based on their price, and for under $30, Age of Darkness is worth it. If you enjoy tower defense and RTS, if you despise one or either types of games, then absolutely not. This probably won't be your cup of tea. The game tries to do its own things and it's good. I wish we had more games like this one, however it's not perfect and we can only hope it will receive further support and improvement down the line. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a good day, Commanders.